Welcome to Guns, Gear, and Guns with Gary Gunderson. I am Gary Gunderson. What I have here is a GSG reproduction of the MP-40 in 9mm, and I also have an improved replacement safety for the firearm. I'm going to show you how to take it apart and install the safety. This can be useful not only for installation, but if you want to do a complete teardown for cleaning or maintenance. For this, you will need some flathead screwdrivers, Torx head screwdrivers, a punch, and some Loctite. This part is manufactured by a small business, which is just a one-man show, and this is their business card. This safety was purchased. This is not a sponsorship. I just think it is a good video topic. This isn't even my rifle, but a friend's, who was kind enough to let me film the process of installation. There are a few non-stock parts already on this, which I will point out as we go. The whole process took me about 2 hours, but that includes extra things with filming, talking while taking it apart, and a mistake I made, which I will highlight so you can avoid the same fate. All in all, I essentially took it apart and put it back together twice, and the second time was maybe 20 minutes, so I'm hoping this video can help you stay on the shorter side of the two. It's not terribly complicated once you know what you're doing. Getting started, this is an SBR version, so it has a folding stock, while the original pistol version has a stock plug in the back. To remove the stock, you first should remove the pistol grip panels, which is a simple screw. This allows you a better angle to knock out the pin holding the stock in place. Once the pin is out, you just separate the two ends of the stock and remove it. Taking off the panel on the left side here, normally it will be Torx screws, but here they have been replaced with simple flatheads. The screw near the back of the firearm is longer, so put them back in the panel and set it aside, or keep that in mind for reinstallation. The panel on the other side can remain attached throughout the entire process. Before removing the upper from the lower, be sure to cock the firearm. Some people say you should have it up in the safety notch. Others say as long as it is cocked, the hammer will be out of the way and won't be an issue. To remove the upper from the lower, there is normally just a pin to punch out, but this one has been customized to have screw heads on either side, which really retains just a different pin that also needs punched out. There will be some spring tension here, so when you are punching it out, try to hold it in place so things don't go flying everywhere. Now, on this side of the firearm, there are a total of 6 Torx screws that need removed. They are all identical, so when setting them aside, you do not need to label them or keep them in a particular order. There is one more Torx screw on the other side of the firearm, and it will need a different size head to remove. This may match the original screws for the panels, but I don't know for certain. Either way, remove that screw and it is clearly different from the rest, so there should be no confusion when reassembling the firearm. This particular one was filled in to make the firearm appear more like an original, so I had some issues getting to the head first and had to dig it out. Now you are ready to separate the two halves of the lower. The best way to prevent binding or bending anything is to grab some thin flathead screwdrivers and beginning at the bottom of the pistol grip, inserting them to separate the two halves. You may get away with just using one and running it around the split, but I used several here just in case. Use one to pry open a little bit, insert another screwdriver, etc., making your way across the firearm. This allows a smooth separation. Even with this, the front end of the firearm still took a little bit of pressure to separate. The pistol grip area is much easier and not as tightly sealed, but be firm and apply steadily more pressure as you reach the front of the firearm. You don't need to pry it violently. It will come apart. And once it is apart, there are a few things that may fall loose. One is this spring that is on the left side of the lower. If it falls out, just be certain that it is back in place in the spot as it is here when you reassemble it. There's also a piece that will probably fall out from where the big Torx screw was, and set that aside for later. Try not to dislodge any of the hammer or trigger mechanisms within this area, but you should, while holding it so it doesn't fly anywhere, release the hammer gently by pulling the trigger. Now the safety is just sitting in place and can be picked up. This piece at the back may fall out as you do, or as you insert the new one. It sits very easily in this little hole here, with the spring pushing down the detent, providing tension and locking the safety into place on the fire or safe position as you switch between the two. There is a flathead screw in the top of the safety, which you will remove and reuse on the new improved safety. This is where I saw recommendations of using Loctite on this screw before inserting it into the safety. The improved safety has nice knurling and Waffen amps to closely resemble the original. I am no machinist, but the manufacturing looks pretty solid to me. And here's where I made a mistake. I tightened it, I thought, enough, but I did not tighten it all the way. This led to the safety being wobbly, which I didn't notice until I reassembled everything. And that led me to completely taking it apart again to fix. Now you can gently twist the safety and test how it all fits while it is still disassembled, but at the very least, if you're worried about it, you can put the two halves of the lower back together and tighten the front two screws. You will be able to manipulate the safety and to verify if it is tightened enough or not. At one point, I may have actually tightened it a bit too much, and I took back maybe a quarter turn. It was firm, snug, and had a positive feel to engaging into safe and fire. Some notes on reassembly. Be sure the spring I mentioned on the left side of the lower is properly in place. This one was dirty enough on the inside that it didn't fall loose until I accidentally touched it. But simply put it back into place as you see here, and it will be fine. The spring that is in the left side of the clamshell receiver needs to be in front of this nub here, as seen in the photos. You can do this as you put the two halves together before you screw anything in place. I missed this and had to go back and do it again. The other major thing to note is that black cylindrical piece that goes back into the upper rear of the receiver. The large Torx screw goes through this piece when reassembling. Now, I did this after I put in all the other screws, securing the two halves together, because even if this cylindrical piece falls out the front, you can push it back into line and twist it properly into place so the hole lines up with the screw with the two halves otherwise combined. Continue reassembly. It's the same, but in reverse. On this piece of furniture, just make sure it's lined up properly and snug against the receiver before screwing it in. You can start to screw it in without it being completely snug, but it's pretty easy to figure out because you won't be able to get in all the way. Put the upper and lower back together. Put the pin in place. The stock gave me some trouble putting back, but you can hold it together and get the pin started. And though it feels like you need a third hand, as long as the pin is started, you'll be good to go. And that's it. I would recommend testing the safety as you go, just so you don't fully assemble it again, just to have to turn around and take it apart. Like I said, the product seems pretty solid and it looks good. This is an improvement over the safety that is on the firearm when you purchase it. Just remember that you will want it to be nice and snug, and you should be pretty well set. That's all I have for today. If you made it to the end, consider supporting me on Patreon, joining the Discord, liking the video, sharing it, and subscribing to the channel for more content. Thanks for watching. There will be some spring tension here, so when you are punching it out, try to hold it in place so things don't go